My half-brothers excluded me from the family business meeting, saying, "You are not really part of the family." Little did they know that I was the anonymous CEO who had just bought their company. I stared at my phone, reading the group chat messages that I wasn't supposed to see. Someone, probably my stepsister's assistant, who still felt sorry for me, had forwarded screenshots of their private conversation. Marcus, meeting at 2 p.m. tomorrow to discuss the Phoenix acquisition. Boardroom A. Emma, should we invite Olivia? Marcus, why would we? She's not real family. Emma, true. She'd probably just embarrass us anyway. Remember that disaster with the Johnson contract? Marcus, LOL. When she actually suggested we consider employee benefits. A major fail. I set my phone down on my desk, my real desk in my private office on the top floor of the Phoenix Group's headquarters. Outside my window, Seattle's skyline glittered in the morning sun, but I barely noticed. I was too busy thinking about how perfectly their exclusion played into my plans. For 3 years, I'd hidden my identity as the founder and CEO of Phoenix Group, one of the fastest-growing technology companies in the country. The business media called me reclusive, mysterious, brilliant. My step-siblings called me a failure who could never amount to anything. If only they knew. The story really began 15 years ago, when my father married Catherine Walsh, a wealthy widow with 2 picture-perfect children. I was 17, still grieving my mother's death, when I suddenly gained a stepmother who saw me as an inconvenience and 2 step-siblings who treated me like an unwanted house guest. Marcus and Emma Walsh had everything: trust funds, private school educations, guaranteed positions in their father's company, Walsh Technologies. I had a partial scholarship to State University and a determination to prove myself. "You really should consider community college," Catherine had said during my senior year, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Walsh Tech needs administrative assistance too, you know." But I had other plans. While my step-siblings partied their way through business school, I worked 3 jobs to put myself through computer science and engineering programs. While they posted photos from their European vacations, I was learning to code, developing the algorithms that would eventually become Phoenix Group's foundation. The disaster with the Johnson contract they mentioned? That was 5 years ago, when I was still trying to please them, still hoping to earn a real place in the family. I'd suggested that Walsh Tech's new software should include better benefits for their clients' employees' health tracking, wellness programs, career development tools. Marcus had laughed me out of the meeting. 2 months later, I founded Phoenix Group with exactly that focus: human-centered technology that helped businesses take better care of their employees. Within a year, we'd stolen the Johnson contract from Walsh Tech. Within 3 years, we'd become their biggest competitor. And now, after careful maneuvering and strategic acquisitions, I was about to become their owner. The takeover had been months in the making. Walsh Tech was vulnerable. Their outdated practices and focus on profit over people had left them struggling in the modern market. Their stock was dropping. Their clients were leaving, and their board was desperate for a solution. Enter Phoenix Group with an offer they couldn't refuse. The only condition was that the negotiations had to be handled through intermediaries. The mysterious CEO of Phoenix Group was too busy for direct meetings. My computer pinged with a calendar reminder: Walsh Tech board meeting, 2 p.m. I'd had my assistant schedule it weeks ago, knowing my step-siblings would choose that exact time for their private meeting. After all, everyone knew Phoenix's CEO never took afternoon meetings. I opened my desk drawer and took out an old photograph, me at 17, standing with my father at my high school graduation. He died 2 years later in a car accident, leaving me with nothing but memories and a family that never wanted me. Catherine had taken control of his small tech consulting firm, merged it into Walsh Tech, and erased every trace of his legacy. She'd made it clear that his death marked the end of any obligation to me. "You're an adult," she'd said. "You need to make your own way." So I did. I picked up my phone and called my assistant. "Sarah, is everything ready for this afternoon?" "Yes, Miss Harrison. The lawyers have the final paperwork prepared. The board has already approved the sale. They just need the Walsh family signatures as majority shareholders." "And they still don't know?" "No one knows you're Alexander Phoenix. The media still thinks you're a reclusive male CEO in his 50s. The photos we've leaked of the real Alex Phoenix at charity events have all featured the actor we hired." I smiled, remembering how Emma had once swooned over a magazine article about the mysterious Alex Phoenix, calling him exactly the kind of powerful man this family needs to align with. "Perfect. Make sure the conference room camera is working. I want to record their faces when they find out." After hanging up, I walked to my private bathroom to check my appearance. The woman in the mirror looked nothing like the awkward teenager who had once tried so hard to fit into the Walsh family. My dark hair was perfectly styled, my suit impeccably tailored, and my posture radiated confidence. The last piece of my disguise was a pair of designer glasses, not something I needed, but they changed my face just enough that someone who hadn't seen me in a few years might not immediately recognize me. "Miss Harrison?" Sarah's voice came through the intercom. "The Walsh siblings have arrived for their meeting. They're in boardroom A, and the camera live feed is running. Would you like to watch?" I sat at my desk and opened the video feed on my laptop. Marcus and Emma sat at the long conference table, looking exactly as privileged as ever. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more.